If you clicked on this video, I'm guessing that you are looking for a new job as a middle business analyst, but you got a little bit rusty with your interview skills, so you decided to freshen up. Or you might be an aspiring junior finally ready to make it to the next level. Either way, this video is just for you. Hello everybody, I'm Yuri Goman, an ex-hiring manager for business analyst positions. In this series, I'm talking about interview questions for the business analyst role. I'm going through all the levels from trainee to seniors and share insights on what hiring managers ask and why those questions make sense. Middle or intermediate experts are the core of each industry. These are the people who know how to get it done, have enough experience to deal with simple tasks, and are ready for big challenges as well. This level assumes that an expert has 2 to 4 or 5 years of experience, which may go up to 7 for some industries or extremely mature corporations. If you have reached the middle level, it means you have solid knowledge and several years of self-sufficient practice. Thus, expectations and interview experience are very different from those at a junior level, which I talked about in this video. The first category of questions is going to be about your CV. In some cases, it is because the hiring manager would like to clarify something. In others, it's because something seems off, like a whole bunch of buzzwords that do not make any sense or are not related to the BA position. CV questions might also appear on a junior level, but maybe just a few, as there is not too much to discuss about CV before the middle interview. So, what questions could appear and how can we deal with them? First are clarification questions. Make sure that your CV doesn't contain anything excessive or untrue. Managers will find that quickly and you will spoil all the impression. So, no answer on how to cheat your way into a job, just don't do that. Secondly, make sure that you have an answer for each word in your CV. For example, a lot of people keep adding their personal characteristics like hardworking or maybe team player or goal-oriented. Believe me, there are not many things hiring managers dislike like this one, because it means nothing almost all the time. When you ask a person what they put behind this word, there is usually no answer or some kind of staggering. So, if you want to show some quality, make sure you have a good story supporting it. Finally, prepare details about your experience and each line you write. For example, if your project saved a couple of man-hours for a huge department daily, be sure to explain how and most importantly, how you contributed to that. Being a part of something great is good, but this interview is not about the whole team. This is time to show off your skills. So, if you made a significant impact, make sure that you know how to show it. But if you just participated, it might be better not to mention it as your achievement. Long story short about this category, know what's in your CV, be ready to explain everything with confidence, and don't be afraid to tell anything. Well, unless you are hiding something. The second category of questions is about your experience, which intertwines with CV questions. Based on what's indicated in CV, you'll get all sorts of questions delving into how you performed your business analyst activities in your experience. On an intermediate level, you are expected to know all major areas of business analysis from planning to result evaluation. This is where your hopefully structured knowledge will become handy at this moment. An example of such questions could be: tell me what was the backlog prioritization approach on your last project and why did you use it? Another example might be: what requirements modeling techniques did you find most useful in your career, which least useful, and why? Unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to prepare for specific questions as there are many of them, but I have a couple of general recommendations you can utilize. First, be specific. Don't stall and don't go broad. Answer the question. It grinds manager gears that candidates start talking about everything everywhere at once. It's like when you are in university and you don't have an answer to exam question and you try to spill all the knowledge you have. Don't do that here. You better take a tiny time out and think. Second, focus on relevant experiences. Tailor your examples to the job description and highlight the skills and experiences most relevant to the position you are interviewing for. Most experience-based questions aim to understand how you handle challenges. Emphasize how you solve problems by explaining your thought process, any obstacles, and how you overcome them. Third, stay positive and own your experiences. Discussing a challenge or failure Focus on what you learned rather than dwelling on the negative aspect. Show ownership of your role and actions regardless of the outcome. Working with a person who sees mostly negative space is very unpleasant. Not only do they focus on problems instead of solutions, but they also demotivate the whole team. A person with such trait could work in some roles, but being in a leadership role, like a business analyst or project manager, could sink the whole ship. Behavioral questions for business analysts are designed to understand how you've handled situations in the past that are relevant to the role. Common behavioral questions might include: tell me about a time when you had to work with multiple stakeholders to reach a decision, or share a case when you had a challenge discussing a new scope that didn't fit a schedule. Managers ask these questions to assess skills critical to business analysis, such as problem solving, communication, and adaptability, most importantly. They want to know if you have the experience and mindset to succeed in scenarios that demand analytical thinking, clear communication, and effective collaboration, all essential for business analysts because business analysts often face tight deadlines and changing requirements. By learning about your past behaviors, managers can get insights into your approach to common challenges in the field and how they match an organization's culture. They also look for evidence of specific skills like system thinking and decision making. Essentially, they want to see if you can use those skills to contribute to the company's goals, to the project's success, and manage complex situations in a teamwork. To answer behavioral questions effectively, structure your responses using the STAR method. The abbreviation goes for situation, task, action, and result. Briefly describe the situation to provide the context, then explain the specific task or challenge you are facing. Next, focus on your actions to address the task, emphasizing the steps you followed and any tools or method you used. Finally, describe the positive result of your actions, ideally using specific outcomes or metrics. This structure keeps your answer focused, showcases relevant skills, and provides a concrete example that leaves a strong impression on the interviewer. You can use other frameworks like CAR, SOAR, or DIGS, but they are pretty much all the same. Here's how you can answer a question about stakeholders I mentioned before. In my previous role as a business analyst, we were implementing a new CRM system, and multiple departments, sales, marketing, and customer support, each had different priorities for the project. My job was to elicit information from each department and ensure that the final CRM would meet everyone's needs without compromising on key functionalities. I organized a series of workshops where each team could share their requirements and concerns. Then, I created a prioritized list of features based on common needs and impact. I facilitated discussions to help everyone understand each other's perspective, find common ground where it was possible, and proposing phased implementations for conflicting requirements. By keeping everyone engaged and communicating openly, we agreed on a phased rollout that addressed critical needs first. This approach improved interdepartmental collaboration and led to a smooth implementation with positive team feedback. The next category is leadership questions, assessing a candidate's ability to effectively influence and guide teams and stakeholders. Typical questions might include: can you describe your leadership style, or how do you adapt your leadership approach to different team members? These questions are essential for two reasons. First, it's because a business analyst is a leadership role. Business analysts act as a bridge between stakeholders and technical teams, requiring strong leadership to manage diverse perspectives and drive people towards consensus. The second reason is that managers are looking for future leaders for their teams, maybe future BA leads, or who knows, maybe even managers. Answering leadership questions effectively involves demonstrating self-awareness and practical examples of past experiences. For instance, when asked about adapting your leadership style, you could describe a kind of a situation where you successfully led a team through a challenging project by tailoring your approach to meet individual team members' needs. Emphasizing soft skills like communication, empathy, and adaptability is also important, as these traits are integral to effective leadership. Alternatively, if your question is broad, you might share your vision on what is the leadership, how it works, and what are your go-to methods to lead. By the way, you can demonstrate leadership proactively even if you don't get any kind of questions from this category. First, because it helps stand out of the crowd like one of the many ways. Second, if you have an ambition to become a leader someday, you must show it, especially if the manager is not looking for someone right now. Your proactivity might put an idea in their head until this scales toward you when a manager decides who to hire and chooses you because of your potential and ambition. This can be done by discussing instances where you stepped up to lead projects or resolve conflicts within a team. Highlighting your ability to mentor others or drive change initiatives can further illustrate your leadership potential. Additionally, expressing a commitment to continuous improvement and sharing your knowledge and experience with peers can underscore your proactive approach to leadership. The final category of middle level is advanced knowledge of techniques and theory in business analysis. Here is the deal. There are two types of people actually. Those who stick to the same toolset for years and those who look for new ways of doing things or dive deep into old ones to learn how to be more efficient. For example, a senior expert I interviewed a few years ago only used a simple set of BPMN elements: start and end event, activity flow, and swim lanes. They never used message flows, boundary events, or sub-processes because this smaller number of elements did the trick. Is it too bad? No. At the end of the day, we need to get the job done, so why care? Well, this is a bit of philosophical, and this is my opinion, but I believe that while some business analysts become seniors with just a few tricks in their sleeves, having pockets full of different techniques and knowing them really deeply, it's a whole new level. As for how to answer a question just like others, it's just my advice that being a middle, you really need to look around and learn as much as possible because all that would be quite handy at the senior level. Those were the common questions for the business analyst middle position and how to approach them during the interview as a candidate. If you're interested in the middle position interviews, I am sure I could tempt you with watching this video, as becoming an intermediate expert means making your first baby steps towards the senior position. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions on the topic, please be bold and drop me a comment under this video and I will do my best to answer your question.